Good evening and welcome to the July 8th meeting of the Ames Community School District Board of Directors. I will take a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Rosser, seconded by Perez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Director Bankin, will you please read our purpose statement?
The Ames Community School District commits to equity and access that empowers every individual to reach their full personal and educational potential.
Thank you very much. I will go ahead and read our statement regarding public comments, which follow each of our discussion items, as well as our public forum. Residents of the district, students attending the district, parents or guardians of students attending the district, and district staff members may address the board about any topic relevant to the district, whether on the current agenda or not. Those who wish to speak must sign up at the beginning of the meeting. Speaker participation is limited to 3 minutes once per item. The views and opinions of citizens addressing the board do not necessarily reflect those of the board, district administration, or staff. Speakers are to remember that Iowa law prohibits the board from discussing specific employees, students, or their performance. Student speakers will state their name and school. Others will state their name and address. And our discussion item on here is board committee update. Is there anything anyone would like to call attention to? It was limited.
Sure. The one that was presented, and we couldn't get it on the last agenda because we had just had it. So the public committee did meet on the 12th, and I'll just cover some highlights. Obviously, you all got a report of it, but I do want to cover a few highlights for you and for the audience. Some of the projects that have either been worked on or will be completed this summer is the Mitchell dehumidification project. That's a temporary fix. The permanent solution at Mitchell for dehumidification will be dealt with when we do the addition project in the future. The other item I'd like to point out that is also the emergency buttons and lockdown process, starting with Edwards, and then we'll be developing plans to go on to each of the other buildings after that with those emergency buttons and lockdown process. I'm going to jump down to the other things that are either have been completed or in process for this summer, and that's the Ames replacement of the PA system. The PA system just died the early part of I believe the second semester, so that was taken care of over spring break. And that was definitely a security issue, and that's why it needed to be addressed right away. Edwards sidewalk at the entry, the bids were received, and that work will be completed this summer. Also, Meeker concrete for the bike wrecks was needed, and that will also be taken care of this summer. And finally, Sawyer had some concrete work needed to be done. Those, I believe, have been all the receives, or they're getting started soon?
Edwards is done.
Edwards is done. Great. And Sawyer will be done by the end of the summer. Yeah, great. Thanks, Jerry. Then the other things that the committee discussed that were either proposed and wanted some feedback from the committee, and it will either come back to the committee and or come back to us as a board for some final approval and discussion. First of all is the improvements generally at AMS. A lot of those general improvements are going to be discussed with the principal and the new principal staff and teachers, and they're going to be coming back to us. But we are suggesting, the public committee is suggesting to move forward with the weight room equipment. They have a very good plan put together for utilizing that right away this coming academic year. And that would include possible some interns with ISU, and they really gave us a good presentation at the meeting, and the committee recommended that we move forward with that. Also, we're going to be looking at some additional fencing at Fellows to help protect students with autism as they exit the cafeteria after they eat lunch. There's some concern with traffic back there and things. So we definitely need to adapt some fencing there to protect them from any vehicles that would be back there in that area. The next thing we talked about, two more items, was a suggestion for reconfiguring some things here in the administrative building and doing some work to accommodate our new executive directors, but also reconfigure the business office. And the recommendation, we talked about it for quite a bit actually, and the recommendation from the committee was that we go ahead and reconfigure I'm going to use a figure, hopefully everybody knows they're northwest, east, and south. So in the southeast corner of the building, that's where the business offices would be moved, and that existing space there that is going to be a little reconfigured to be better, more useful for them. Actually, they're just going to be adding a couple offices. And then the recommendation from the committee was to kind of leave the space that currently is occupied by the business office alone for this year, and that the executive directors would be in that space along with, I believe, the directors, equity director, and some other staff would still be able to utilize that space. If after this year they feel they need to do some additional configurations in there, but for this year, it was recommended, the committee recommended that we just proceed with renovations in that back corner. And then lastly, there was quite a bit of discussion about the athletic department came forward with a shot put and discus location, whether it be permanent or temporary, on the Fellows campus. The committee raised a number of questions, concerns of whether that's something that's really good for the fellows, and we wanted to get a little more feedback from the fellows community about whether that's going to be a good location for that. So I think that's going to need some further discussion, because the plan was to place something there permanently, and then there was discussion of whether, well, is it better for us to do something temporary and then do something permanently, back on the high school campus closer to the stadium. So that's kind of where we're at with that discussion. And if you want to see some drawings of that, I'm sure Jerry can send them to you if you want to just send him an email. Okay.
Any questions for Lois? Seeing none. Any other questions about, there were no other board committee updates? Any other things that any committee reps want to provide? Seeing none. Any public comments on the board committee update? We will go ahead and move on to the public forum, of which no one has signed up, so I will go ahead and entertain a motion for the consent items.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Rosser, seconded by Perez. Chris.
On the consent agenda this evening, we have the minutes from both the work session and the regular meeting on June 17th, the personnel report, administrative reappointments for 1920. This may be a little bit of deja vu. We did bring this at the last meeting, but we're bringing it back because the travel allowances were left off, and after the Mason City audit and some of the findings on administrative pay, we thought it best to have all that approved. So it's reapproving that. We have a contract with Child Serve Home Health, a contract with McFarland Clinic for athletic training at the middle school, open enrollment applications, and we have two gifts tonight. The Mucky Duck Restaurant has donated $600 of food to the Mitchell Elementary Carnival, and Collegiate United Methodist Church has donated $2,500 to be applied to overdue lunch accounts.
Thank you. Moved by Rosser, seconded by Perez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Action. The first action item, resolution adopting the return to play protocol.
I move the board approve the resolution to adopt return to play protocol.
Second.
Moved by Beerbaum, seconded by Rosser. Discussion. Maybe just for the good of the public, this is as you are aware, last meeting we discussed, we had Judge and Lindsay Struck, the trainer, come and discuss concussion protocol and working with student athletes. It's been suggested by IASB that we adopt a resolution, not the specific return to play protocol, because that provides the flexibility for our staff to keep up with any improvements or new approaches to helping protect students and returning them to play. So that's why we are moving this through as a resolution. We will go ahead and vote on roll call.
Perez, aye.
Finken, aye.
Beerbaum, aye.
Franzen, aye.
Colton, aye.
Rosser, aye.
Passes 6-0. Item 11, adoption of the Ames Community School Brand Standards Guide.
I move the board adopt the Ames Community Schools Brand Standards Guide as presented.
Second.
Moved by Perez, seconded by Colton. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Item 12, gift agreement with the City of Ames for the Old Edwards property.
I move the board approve the gift agreement with the City of Ames for the transfer of the old Edwards property.
Second.
Moved by Perez, seconded by Benkin. Discussion. Trying to provide a
If you
quick
remember, this was on the agenda at the last meeting, and we tabled it. We did work with the city. We removed the obligation of the city to pay for this school district's legal fees as well as the cost of the survey, and they are amenable to the agreement as revised.
Been moved by Perez, seconded by Benkin. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Item 13, new high school bid issuance number 2, building bid packages.
I move the board approve the plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated total cost for the new high school building bids package, bid issuance number 2.
Second.
Discussion. We discussed this at our work session last time. If there's questions for Jerry, we've got Jerry here, we've got Dean, we've got Brent, we've got the whole crew, not OPM. But any questions for them on the first motion we're addressing here? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0.
I move the board to set the date of public hearing on August 26th, 2019, and direct the board secretary to publish the notice no sooner than August 6th, 2019.
Second.
Moved by Beerbaum, seconded by Rosser. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Item 14, 2019-20 substitute pay rates.
I move the board approve the substitute rates of pay for 2019-20 as presented.
Second.
Moved by Rosser, seconded by Colton. Discussion.
Chris, what was the pay rate last year?
For the
remember.
substitute
For the
teachers,
substitute.
$100.
Yeah.
The surrounding school districts did a survey. We thought we were settled on 110. Everybody was going to go to 110, and then Gilbert went to 120, so we're going to 120.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I'm really excited that we are moving forward with this. This is something that actually I personally and some of our fellow previous board members, we've been working on for a number of years. It's not, we really need to, I know we all say we appreciate the work that our substitute teachers do. Many of them are former teachers in our district, but that true appreciation shows in how much you pay them. And there has been some frustration over the years related to that. And it's not just a recognition of that. One of the other things that we have to remember is that the one way that we recruit a diverse teachers are to make sure that we're offering opportunities for teachers to substitute in our district that are, from outside the area possibly. And when that pay rate for substitute teaching is substantially lower than others, they choose not to do that. And then I feel that hurts us in recruiting more diverse workforce and teaching staff down the road. So I think the combination of raising that not only shows that appreciation, but will pay dividends in the future. I hope that the board is continuing. I feel comfortable that the current board, but I hope future boards will look at this issue and not, make changes years down the road. I hope they, look at this line item every year, make an appropriate annual adjustment of $5, $10, whenever it's necessary, instead of making great big jumps every year. So, that's it.
I just want to say I was surprised to see this on the agenda. I wasn't able to make the update meeting with Superintendent Reisner, so I was not able to hear her rationale behind the raise. I'm excited to see it. I know it's something that we have been talking about for a very long time. I wish that she was here to share with the public, what her rationale was, because I think the budget really had been set, and I didn't recall that this was part of the conversation, so I appreciate that she took the effort to reprioritize or to find the money to make this a priority, and hope maybe at the next meeting we can hear from her. But I was excited to see it and happy to vote for it.
Same here. I've heard a lot of feedback from substitute teachers requesting this and saying what they were getting before really wasn't very livable for a wage. So I'm very excited to see that this was a pretty good raise for them.
Any other comments? All right, moved by Rosser, seconded by Colton. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Items from the board. I think two things I want to call attention to, since Superintendent Reisner isn't here, and I know a lot of times she does do that, but in our personnel report, I think maybe you have one more meeting, Carl. I'm not sure how quickly you're running away, but I want to say thank you for your leadership in the area of technology in all areas, whether it's getting our students the devices, making sure that our buildings are appropriately outfitted so that we can really give our teachers the tools and the students the tools to have the kinds of education that we are expecting. So thank you for your efforts. Patrick, congratulations on your new position. Now you get to help some of us who need help every once in a while with dealing with these technology things, but we do really wish you well and look forward to working with you, Patrick. The other item in here is we do have a new principal that has been hired for Fellows Elementary. We are, of course, wishing Brandon Schroth well as he gets the opportunity to move closer to family, but we are also looking forward to meeting our new principal. I'm going to say her name, and I know I'm going to mispronounce it, so how about Chad? How do you say her name? It's Lana LaSalle. Thank you very much. So we really look forward to meeting her once she gets to town. So, and there are other updates on the personnel report because, as one can expect, we are continuing to make sure we're filling our teaching positions so that we are ready for our students in I don't know how many weeks, but not many from now. So the other thing that I just want to highlight and really celebrate is we are another step along that process of moving towards our high school. And this really is very exciting that we are now going out to bid for what a huge chunk, right? It is the building, and I know that you all are doing a lot of work, and it's I don't know about everyone else, but I have started to drive by the high school about once a week just to see how things are going, but certainly very rewarding to see the activity there, and we know that it will just continue to increase. So many thanks to all of you, Jerry, Story Team, and OPN for all of your hard work on that. items from the staff? Anything? Nothing at all. The board planning calendar, I don't know if there's anything that we need to make sure to highlight. We are working to schedule a board retreat. Watch your emails from JD because he will finalize that time. He's taking the lead on getting that scheduled for us. Otherwise, we will be back here again in a couple weeks, and I know that we will be at some point working through some of the legislative priorities. I believe you mentioned that last time,
Yep.
Director Rosser. So, all right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Perez, seconded by Benkin. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0. Thank you.